Hello, dear viewer. Welcome to the audiobook. You've been told all your life to work for money, go to school, get a job, earn a paycheck. But no one ever taught you how to make money work for you. And that's the problem, because when you're trading time for money, you're trapped in the oldest system there is, one designed to keep you busy, but never free. The rich figured out something different. They built systems that pay them while they sleep. Their time creates value once. Their money multiplies it forever. This audiobook is about that shift. It's about the inner reprogramming and outer strategy that transform you from a worker into a wealth architect. Welcome to Make Money Work for You, the System of the Rich. Over the next chapters, we'll go deep into the psychology, structure, and daily habits of people who no longer trade time for income. You'll learn how they build loops of value where effort compounds, assets grow, and freedom becomes predictable. If this resonates with you already, hit like or drop a note. What's one thing you'd want your money to start doing for you right now? Because by the end of this journey, you'll have your own answer, and more importantly, your own system. Chapter 1. Escaping the Time Trap. Let's start with a hard truth. If your income depends entirely on your effort, you're one step away from zero. Lose your job, your income stops. Get sick, your progress stalls. Take a break, your bank account shrinks. That's the time trap. It's the invisible cage where most people live their entire lives, mistaking activity for growth. But wealth doesn't reward motion. It rewards multiplication. Money doesn't come to those who work the hardest. It comes to those who understand systems. The system of the rich is simple. They turn money into employees. Every dollar they earn gets a job. Every dollar has a mission, and every dollar works, even when they don't. That's what you must learn to build. A system where effort compounds beyond your presence. Chapter 2. Money is energy, not paper. Before you can make money work for you, you have to redefine what it is. Money isn't paper. It isn't coins or digits on a screen. Money is energy. It's the physical expression of value, a mirror of the energy you create and exchange. The rich understand this. That's why they don't hoard money. They circulate it. They keep it moving, investing it in assets, opportunities, and people who multiply it. The poor, on the other hand, fear losing it, so they freeze the flow. But when you freeze energy, it stagnates, and stagnant energy always decays. Remember, if you want your money to grow, treat it like a river, not a pond. When your money flows through value, it multiplies. When it sits still in fear, it evaporates through inflation and missed opportunity. Money loves motion, and the ones who move it wisely master it. Chapter 3. The first rule of wealth. Give your money a job. If your money doesn't have a job, it will find a bad one. That's why people wake up years later wondering where their income went, because it was never told where to go in the first place. Every dollar you earn must have a mission before it lands in your hand. Some dollars should go to investment, some to growth, some to protection, some to joy, but none should wander aimlessly. The rich assign every dollar to a system, one that feeds other systems. Their money is organized, structured, and directed. They don't just save, they deploy. They don't just spend, they strategize. The key is intention. You don't need millions to begin. You just need discipline, the habit of directing money where it multiplies. That's how you build momentum even from the smallest income. Chapter 4, Your Money Blueprint. Everyone has a subconscious money map, a pattern you absorb from childhood about what money means and how it behaves. If you grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees or rich people are greedy, then deep inside your brain associates wealth with guilt or danger. And as long as that program runs, you'll unconsciously repel abundance. You'll sabotage opportunities. You'll find ways to accidentally lose money because your inner system doesn't match your outer goals. You can't hold on to what you secretly believe you don't deserve. That's why the first step of wealth creation isn't an investment strategy. It's an identity strategy. You must rewrite your internal script, shift from scarcity to stewardship, from fear to faith. Start saying this to yourself: my money multiplies through purpose. My income reflects my impact. I let my money work, and it works well. Speak it, and then design systems that prove it. Dear friend, you are definitely on the right track if you are watching this video. Like, subscribe, and write in the comments which topic or problem concerns you the most. We promise to prepare a professional video explanation at your request. Chapter 5, Assets vs. Liabilities. The true divide. Poor people buy comfort, rich people buy cash flow. That's the real divide. Not education, not inheritance, not luck. The rich don't buy things that take money away. They buy things that bring money back. An asset puts money in your pocket, whether you're awake or asleep. A liability takes money out. Most people fill their lives with disguised liabilities: cars, gadgets, luxury clothes, things that feel like wealth, but bleed it silently. The rich reverse it. They use money to acquire assets that pay for their desires. Their business buys their lifestyle, not their salary. Every dollar you spend is a decision. Will this money work for me or against me? When you begin to see that question everywhere, your financial IQ skyrockets. And from that point forward, you stop working for money and start building a team of dollars that works for you. Chapter 6, The Power of Automation. Here's the beauty of the modern world. You can automate wealth. You can make your money grow while you sleep, not because you're lucky, but because you're leveraging systems. Automatic savings, automatic investments, automatic compounding. You don't need to watch the markets every hour. You just need to set the rules once and let the system execute. That's what the wealthy do. They design systems that operate without emotion, because emotion kills consistency. Automation guarantees it. Even small automated contributions, when compounded, can turn modest incomes into massive portfolios. It's not magic, it's math. But it only works when you commit to structure over impulse. Discipline creates wealth. Automation preserves it. You've now begun to glimpse how the rich think, in systems, in structures, in strategy. But the journey is only beginning. In the next part, we'll break down exactly how to build the wealth engine that turns effort into exponential growth, step by step. We'll decode how to invest, reinvest, and protect your financial flow so it compounds automatically. Because the rich don't just save money. They build systems that never stop earning. Chapter 7, The Wealth Engine. How the Rich Print Freedom. Let's break it down. Every rich person, no matter where they started, builds a wealth engine. Think of it like a machine that converts time and ideas into passive income. At the beginning, you feed it with effort, learning, and small investments. Later, it starts feeding you. with cash flow, time freedom, and opportunities. The wealth engine has three parts. 1. The creator, you, your skills, your vision, your energy. 2. The system, the structure that multiplies your output. 3. The flow, the financial channels that keep your wealth expanding. When those three connect, you stop exchanging time for money. You start exchanging value for freedom. The goal isn't to work harder. It's to build smarter loops of income that outlive your effort. But here's the secret. Most people never get past phase 1, the creator. They rely only on themselves. They're the engine, the driver, and the gas. The rich, they evolve to the system. They design processes that work without them. They automate, delegate, and compound. That's why their income grows even when they rest. Their system is working full time, even when they aren't. Chapter 8. The difference between working in and working on. There's a famous saying, the poor work in their business, the rich work on their business. That single distinction defines your entire financial destiny. When you work in your business, you're the labor. When you work on your business, you're the architect. One creates income. The other creates independence. Freedom isn't earned by hours. It's engineered by systems. The rich step back often to observe, optimize, and automate. They spend more time building frameworks than chasing tasks. You must train your brain to think like a designer, not a doer. The doer asks, how can I finish this? The designer asks, how can this finish itself? When you shift that one question, you move from exhaustion to expansion. Chapter 9. The compound effect of systems. You've heard of compound interest, how money grows exponentially over time. But few people realize that systems compound faster than money. Here's what that means. Every time you automate a habit, process, or transaction, you free up mental and emotional bandwidth. That freed up energy can now be reinvested in another system. Soon, you're not just saving time, you're multiplying it. Money multiplies when time compounds. A person who automates their income can spend every day designing better leverage. A person who does everything manually spends every day surviving. The wealthy build invisible systems, habits, schedules, delegations, investments that keep delivering even when they're asleep. They don't live reactively. They live rhythmically. Every system becomes a small engine of growth. And the more engines you build, the faster your freedom arrives. Chapter 10. The System of the Rich. A blueprint. Let's look under the hood of how the rich actually make their money work. Here's a simple framework used by the top 1%. Call it the wealth loop. It works like this. 1. Earn to learn. Every dollar earned early on goes back into building skill, awareness, and network. The poor spend to escape. The rich spend to evolve. 2. Learn to leverage. Once knowledge compounds, they invest in systems, people, tools, technology to multiply results. 3. Leverage to lead. As income flows, they stop managing and start leading. Their focus becomes vision, culture, and expansion. 4. Lead to legacy. Once the system runs itself, they teach it, license it, or sell it. That's how they turn businesses into empires. The system of the rich is built on loops, where every dollar, decision, and day produces another. Now, here's the truth. You can start building this loop today, even with limited resources, even with no team, because the first system you must master isn't financial, it's mental. Chapter 11. The Mind of a System Builder. The mindset of the poor is reactive. The mindset of the rich is predictive. The poor think, how can I make it through this month? The rich think, how can I make this month pay me for the next 10 years? Systems are the language of long-term thinkers. They see life like chess, not checkers. They plan 5 moves ahead, not one. When a poor thinker gets extra money, they spend it to feel rich. When a rich thinker gets extra money, they invest it to become free. You must start asking the wealth question daily. How can I make this one action produce results multiple times? That's the seed of systems thinking. When your mind starts measuring effort in returns, not rewards, you've crossed into the mental territory of the rich. Chapter 12. How the Rich Think About Risk. Most people avoid risk because they fear loss. But the rich understand, risk isn't the enemy. Uneducated risk is. Remember, the difference between gambling and investing is knowledge. The poor risk without data, emotionally, impulsively, and inconsistently. The rich risk strategically, measured, diversified, and calculated. They don't bet everything on one idea. They build systems that protect the downside while exposing the upside. For example, they might invest 10% of their portfolio in something volatile, but 90% is structured to keep growing safely. The point is, they never stop moving forward. They know stagnation is the riskiest state of all. Because while fear freezes most people, inflation, opportunity loss, and wasted potential keep draining value quietly. So, if you want to build wealth, train your mind to see risk not as danger, but as data. You measure, you manage, and you move. That's how the rich play. Chapter 13. The Psychology of Leverage. There's a limit to how hard you can work, but there's no limit to how much your ideas can work for you. The rich use leverage. They multiply output without multiplying effort. Leverage comes in many forms. Financial leverage, using money to make more money. Systemic leverage, building structures that operate without you. Technological leverage, automating processes with software and AI. People leverage, hiring talent to extend your capacity. Leverage turns effort into exponential results. Every rich person you admire, investor, entrepreneur, creator, has mastered leverage in one form or another. They stopped trying to be superhuman. They learned to build super systems. Because wealth isn't about being the best at everything, it's about being smart enough to design what works without you. Chapter 14. The Rule of Scale. Here's the ultimate wealth equation. Impact X systems, big scale. If you can scale your impact, you scale your income. But that requires something most people never do, creating repeatable value. A rich mindset asks, how can this idea reach 1,000 people instead of one? How can this skill generate income on autopilot? Think about your own talents. What if they were packaged into a course, a product, or a service that runs online? What if one day's work paid you every day after? That's how scale is born. You move from selling time to selling transformation. You move from effort-based income to system-based freedom. And that's when you finally understand it's not about working harder, it's about working once and earning forever. You're now beginning to think like the top 1%. But in the next chapter, we're going to build like them. You'll learn exactly how the rich construct their money machines, the assets, systems, and strategies that let wealth flow continuously. Because the secret isn't making money. It's making it move intelligently. Chapter 15. The Money Machine. Building your financial system. Now it's time to move from mindset to mechanics, from philosophy to flow. Every rich person at some point built what I call a money machine. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's a structure, a living ecosystem of income streams that feed each other. Here's how it works. The money machine has 5 layers. 1. The base, your cash flow foundation. This is the consistent income that fuels your system. It might be your job, your business, or a skill you've monetized. It's the soil where the seeds of wealth are planted. 2. The builder, your investment habit. This layer converts your cash flow into assets. Think of stocks, index funds, real estate, or digital products, things that grow while you sleep. 3. The multiplier, compounding systems. Here, your assets generate passive returns that are reinvested. Money creates more money. Effort becomes exponential. 4. The protector, risk management. The rich don't play defense last. They build it in first. Insurance, diversification, and emergency reserves make sure their wealth can't collapse overnight. 5. The expander, income that scales. Once the system is self-sustaining, they use it to create new ventures, new assets, and new opportunities. Their money doesn't rest. It reinvests. Your goal isn't to get rich once. It's to build a machine that makes you richer forever. The money machine is about leverage, automation, and patience. You don't need millions to start, just consistency, because $1 invested weekly compounds into freedom, if the system is right. Chapter 16. From Consumer to Creator. There's a universal truth the rich live by. You can't consume your way to freedom. Most people spend to feel successful. The wealthy create to stay successful. The difference is psychological. Consumers chase pleasure, creators chase purpose. One loses energy through spending, the other gains energy through building. You can't escape the system by playing the same role. If you want to make money work for you, you have to stop acting like a customer and start thinking like a creator. Every dollar that leaves your pocket should either 1. Multiply through investment, or 2. Return through value creation. That's how you build assets, from books to businesses to content to capital. Even your personal brand can be an asset if you nurture it intentionally, because reputation, trust, and creativity, these are modern currencies of wealth. Chapter 17. The 3 levels of income. Let's simplify wealth creation into 3 levels. 1. Active income. You work for money. Your time equals your income. Stop working, and the money stops flowing. Everyone starts here, but you can't stay here. 2. Semi-passive income. You set systems in motion. You still monitor or manage them, but they run mostly on their own. Examples: online stores, real estate, dividends, royalties. 3. Passive income. You own machines that print money, businesses, assets, or systems that continue paying you without daily involvement. Active income feeds survival. Passive income feeds freedom. Your mission? Use your active income to build passive income. Every hour worked today should contribute to a system that pays you tomorrow. If your paycheck buys peace for this month but not freedom for next year, you're still stuck in the loop. Break that loop by asking, how can this dollar come back with a friend? That's the mindset that transforms every expense into a potential investment. Chapter 18. Your money is your army. Imagine every dollar as a soldier. You can send them out recklessly to party, to impulse buys, to short-term pleasure. or you can send them with purpose to conquer opportunity, compound interest, and long-term freedom. Every dollar you spend is voting for your future. The poor spend their soldiers on entertainment. The rich deploy theirs on education, innovation, and elevation. Money should be in motion, yes, but strategic motion. Every move should strengthen your financial position. Your goal isn't to save money out of fear. It's to deploy it with wisdom. The wealthy don't hoard, they harness. Their dollars are disciplined, directed, and dutiful. They don't ask, "What can I buy with this?" They ask, "What can this buy for me every month?" Start seeing your money as a team, not a toy. Lead it with vision, command it with intention, and it will serve you with loyalty. Chapter 19, The System of Autonomy. Let's get tactical. There's a principle that separates the rich from everyone else. Automation beats motivation. They don't rely on willpower to invest, save, or grow. They build systems that make those things automatic. Every wealthy person automates 3 things. 1. Income allocation, a set percentage automatically routed to investments and savings. 2. Debt reduction, recurring payments that shrink liabilities without thinking. 3. Wealth tracking, dashboards, apps, or advisors that monitor growth effortlessly. They don't make emotional decisions. Their system executes on logic 24/7. Even their giving is systematic, because generosity, too, compounds when it's consistent. Wealth doesn't grow by chance. It grows by calendar. Every week, every month, every quarter, something in their system moves wealth forward. That's why they don't panic about markets or trends. They trust structure over emotion, and that trust gives them peace, the real luxury most people never feel. Chapter 20, The Freedom Metric. Money is not the goal. Freedom is, but freedom isn't a fantasy. It's a metric. Ask yourself, how many days could I live at my current standard without working another hour? That number is your freedom score. If the answer is 0, you're dependent. If it's 30, you're stable. If it's 90, you're building momentum. If it's 365, you're financially free. Freedom is measured in days, not dollars. The rich track this constantly. Their mission is not to have more things, it's to have more time. So they invest in assets that increase their freedom days. They eliminate liabilities that shorten them. That's the difference between a spender and a builder. One measures comfort, the other measures control. You can have both, but only when your money is finally working for you. You've now learned how to create systems, automate wealth, and design a financial machine that moves forward even when you rest. But in the next section, we go deeper. We'll uncover the hidden wealth mindset that turns ordinary income into generational fortune, how the rich think beyond money, and how you can too. Because freedom doesn't end when the bills are paid. It begins when you understand that wealth is a language and you're learning to speak it fluently. Chapter 21, The Language of Wealth. Wealth has a language, and if you can't speak it, you'll always feel like an outsider at the table of opportunity. The rich don't just understand numbers, they understand meaning. They think in frameworks, not paychecks. They hear value where others only see cost. If you want to join the wealthy, learn to think in assets, not prices. Here's the truth. Money doesn't disappear. It transfers. It flows from those who misunderstand it to those who master it. Every decision you make, to buy, to save, To invest is a conversation with money, and money responds only to clarity and conviction. So if you want money to follow you, you must start speaking its language. Value before vanity, systems before spending, compounding before consuming. That's how you shift from financial noise to financial fluency. Chapter 22. The Law of Value Creation. Wealth doesn't come from wanting more. It comes from creating more value than you consume. This law governs every successful entrepreneur, investor, and innovator. Remember, the richer you want to be, the more valuable you must become. The poor ask, "What can I get?" The rich ask, "What can I give that no one else is giving?" Money chases impact. It's a byproduct of how much value you inject into the world. When you focus on solving problems, serving people, and scaling solutions, money becomes a reflection of your usefulness. That's why you never hear the rich say, "I need a raise." They say, "I need to raise my value." And when you do that consistently, money stops being something you chase. It becomes something that chases you. Chapter 23. The Energy Exchange. Let's talk about energy, the real economy behind every transaction. Every time you trade your time, attention, or emotion, you're exchanging energy for value. If you invest energy in gossip, comparison, or negativity, you're spending the most valuable currency you own, your focus, on things that bring no return. But when you invest energy in learning, building, and creating, the returns multiply beyond money. Where your attention goes, your income flows. This is why the rich are obsessive about their environment. They protect their energy like it's gold, because it is. They avoid conversations that drain them. They design routines that feed them. They treat focus as a sacred resource. That's not arrogance. It's awareness. They know wealth begins where attention compounds. Chapter 24. The company you keep. Look around you. Your circle is your ceiling. If you're surrounded by people who complain more than they create, you'll absorb that frequency. If your peers spend more than they invest, you'll mimic their behavior subconsciously. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your standards, and your standards are reflected by your circle. The rich build proximity to possibility. They seek out rooms where they're the least knowledgeable, not the most. They value conversations that challenge them, not comfort them. And over time, they evolve, not because of luck, but because of osmosis. When you're surrounded by people who think wealth, build systems, and speak growth, you begin to absorb that energy naturally. So take inventory of your relationships. Ask yourself, does this connection feed my freedom or drain my focus? Your future depends on that answer. Chapter 25. The Habit Loop of the Wealthy Habits Build Empires. Tiny, invisible, consistent actions. That's the DNA of success. Every rich person you admire operates through a habit loop. 1. Awareness. They observe their thoughts and actions constantly. 2. Adjustment. They refine what doesn't serve them. 3. Automation. They make the good habits effortless. While most people chase instant results, the wealthy chase rhythms. They focus on processes that, when repeated, guarantee growth. Discipline is the bridge between goals and wealth. Here's what they do differently every day. They study something that expands their financial IQ. They take one action that moves them closer to freedom. They review their systems weekly, not yearly, and because of that, their results compound silently until one day what looks like an overnight success is revealed to be a decade of discipline. Chapter 26, The Secret of Delayed Reward. One of the greatest financial superpowers you can develop is patience. Because money doesn't grow with speed, it grows with strategy. The poor want fast money. The rich want forever money. They're not in a rush to look rich. They're focused on becoming unshakable. The poor chase excitement. The rich chase endurance. If you can delay gratification, skip temporary pleasure for permanent power, you've already joined the top 10% mentally. While others are spending to prove status, you're investing to build systems. While others show off their income, you quietly grow your assets. This is how wealth plays out in real life. The humble investor outpaces the flashy spender always. Because wealth isn't loud, it's patient. And patience always profits. Chapter 27, The Law of Reinvestment. The rich follow a rule that feels counterintuitive at first. Every gain is fuel for the next game. When most people make money, they spend it. When the wealthy make money, they multiply it. They reinvest profits into better systems, smarter people, and new opportunities. They're never satisfied with one source of success. It's not greed, it's growth. Reinvestment is how they protect themselves from decline. They know that standing still in business or finance means falling behind. So they pour energy back into innovation. They feed their machines with resources and ideas. Even when they win, they reinvest, because wealth, like a fire, dies when you stop feeding it. Your wealth must serve your vision, and your vision must serve the world. That's the true balance. Chapter 28, Your Life as a Business. Here's a radical idea. Start managing your life like a business. You are the CEO of You, Inc. Every decision you make, financial, emotional, physical, affects your company's growth. Your health is your infrastructure. Your skills are your products. Your time is your capital. Your habits are your employees. Are they working for you or against you? If your life were a company, would you invest in it? The rich treat their time like revenue. They track where it's going, how it's being used, and what it's producing. They review their performance honestly. They cut costs that don't align with the mission. They reinvest in self-improvement because the CEO sets the tone. When you start thinking like this, you unlock clarity. You stop living by reaction and start leading by intention. The deeper truth about wealth is this: it's not about having more, it's about being more disciplined, more focused, more deliberate. And in the next part, we're going to elevate this even higher. You'll learn how the rich protect, diversify, and extend their wealth, how they turn systems into dynasties. Because once your money starts working for you, your next job is to make sure it works for generations. Chapter 29, The Architecture of Generational Wealth. Let's step into the mindset of legacy builders. These are not just rich people, these are the wealth architects. They don't build for the next year, they build for the next century. The rich make money, the wealthy make systems that outlive them. When you truly make money work for you, you begin thinking in timelines longer than your own lifetime. You start designing structures, trusts, companies, foundations that continue compounding long after you're gone. The poor think of wealth as income. The rich think of wealth as infrastructure. The rich don't just leave money to their children, they leave mindsets. They teach the next generation how to preserve and multiply it. Because here's the truth. If you give someone money without mindset, it evaporates. But if you give someone the mindset of wealth, they'll recreate it again and again. Chapter 30. The 3 Laws of Long-Term Wealth. There are 3 laws the truly wealthy never violate. 1. The law of preservation. They never let their lifestyle grow faster than their income. They build financial defense before they build financial display. They know luxury without leverage is liability. 2. The law of multiplication. Every dollar must either buy time or make another dollar. If it does neither, it's wasted. That's the rule that keeps wealth expanding while others stagnate. 3. The law of continuity. They create continuity in vision, leadership, and values. Their businesses, families, and systems are guided by clear principles that don't die with them. The ultimate sign of success is that your system keeps growing when you stop. Wealth that ends with you was never true wealth. It was only accumulation. Wealth that outlives you becomes legacy. Chapter 31. The silent partner of every rich person. There's something every rich person has, though they rarely talk about it. It's not an assistant. It's not an accountant. It's leverage disguised as people. No one gets rich alone. Behind every fortune is a network, a circle of advisors, investors, and builders who multiply decisions and shorten mistakes. The rich aren't afraid to hire smarter. They don't let ego block expertise. They delegate not because they're lazy, but because they're focused. They know their value is highest when they stay in their zone of genius. Remember, the poor try to save money by doing everything. The rich save time by paying others to do it better. You don't need millions to build a team. You just need humility and clarity on what your time is truly worth. Because if you're doing $10 tasks with a $1,000 mind, you're robbing your own potential. Please like and subscribe if you want a better future for your children, your family, and yourself. It's very difficult to achieve success today, but I'm sure you'll succeed. All you have to do is learn and discover new things. Chapter 32. The Hidden Systems of Peace. There's a secret system most people never study, the wealth of peace. The rich don't chase chaos. They build peaceful systems that give them mental space to think clearly. They automate decisions. They simplify routines. They design calm. The ultimate flex isn't wealth, it's peace of mind. When you're not constantly worrying about bills, deadlines, or drama, your creativity skyrockets, and that creativity becomes your most profitable asset. Peace is leverage. It allows you to focus deeply, decide wisely, and act powerfully. That's why the wealthy invest heavily in simplicity, because they understand less noise equals more clarity. You want to multiply income? Start by minimizing distraction. Chapter 33. The Wealth Triangle. Every person striving for freedom must master 3 interconnected forces. 1. Income, how much you earn. 2. Management, how well you direct it. 3. Multiplication, how fast you grow it. If one side of this triangle is weak, the whole structure collapses. You can't multiply money you don't manage. You can't manage money you don't earn. The rich balance all 3. They optimize income through systems. They automate management through budgeting and discipline. And they accelerate multiplication through investing. Wealth is not built in one direction. It's balanced in 3. So ask yourself, which side of your triangle needs strengthening today? That's your next move. Chapter 34. The Power of Compound Decisions. Everyone knows about compound interest, but the rich understand compound decisions. Every choice, no matter how small, stacks on the one before it. One disciplined choice today multiplies into a cascade of future wins. One careless decision can cost years of progress. That's why the rich slow down before they decide. They think in ripples. Every decision compounds, either toward freedom or frustration. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. The poor make emotional choices and justify them later. The rich make strategic choices and let time justify them. Every dollar, every opportunity, every yes or no is a brushstroke on the canvas of your financial future. Paint it consciously. Chapter 35. The Mental Blueprint of a Millionaire. Let's step inside the mind of someone who built their fortune from nothing. They think differently, not because they're smarter, but because they trained differently. When others see problems, they see profit. When others panic, they see patterns. When others wait, they act. They've built mental calluses from failure. They've turned pain into pattern recognition. Millionaires don't think positive, they think precise. They don't hope for luck, they calculate leverage. They don't pray for opportunity, they prepare for it. They live by a mental law. If I can understand how a system works, I can make it work for me. That's the entire essence of financial intelligence, and the more you think like that, the less you'll ever feel powerless again. Chapter 36. The Curse of Comfort. Now, here's the paradox that destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Comfort. Once people reach stability, they stop growing. They confuse safety with success. But wealth that isn't expanding is shrinking, quietly, invisibly every day. Inflation eats it. Lifestyle creeps up. Complacency kills curiosity. Comfort is a slow killer, wearing the disguise of peace. The rich fear stagnation more than failure. They'd rather lose trying something new than rotten routine. That's why they keep learning, investing, and evolving, even when they don't have to, because they know comfort has no ceiling, but neither does growth. Choose one. Chapter 37, The Law of Energy Return. Energy and money are reflections of each other. Wherever your energy goes consistently, your money follows. The poor spend their energy complaining. The rich spend theirs creating. The poor waste hours explaining why something won't work. The rich use those same hours making it work. If you master energy, you'll master economics. You are your most valuable asset. So take care of the asset. Eat for clarity. Sleep for creativity. Move for confidence. Think for possibility. Because you can't build wealth with a tired body or a cluttered mind. Every high performer knows your financial return will never exceed your energetic return. You're not just learning money now. You're learning mastery. And in the next part, we'll explore how to scale your impact, diversify intelligently, and live like the rich, not by excess, but by efficiency. Because the end goal isn't to make money, it's to make meaning and let money amplify it. Chapter 38, The Scale of Impact. Here's a truth the rich understand early. Money is not the reward for effort. It's the reward for impact. You can work hard and stay broke if your effort doesn't scale. But one idea, one system, one service that impacts thousands can replace decades of labor. You're not paid for your time, you're paid for the value your time produces. The average person focuses on doing more. The wealthy focus on multiplying more. They ask questions like, how can I help 10 times more people without 10 times more effort? How can I build something once that keeps paying forever? This is the secret of leverage. It's how the rich escape the limits of hours and hands. They build digital products, automated systems, scalable businesses, and investments that keep giving without taking. And as their impact grows, their income naturally follows. That's not luck. That's leverage applied through value. Chapter 39. Leverage is the new labor. In the old world, power came from labor. The more you worked, the more you earned. In the new world, power comes from leverage, from multiplying your effort through technology, media, and systems. You don't have to own factories anymore. You can own frameworks. The new rich don't trade sweat. They trade scale. A video, a digital course, a book, a brand, these are the modern machines that work for you while you sleep. Leverage doesn't require more strength. It requires strategy. Every hour you spend building a system that replaces your future effort brings you closer to freedom. That's why the rich obsess over automation, content, and delegation. They build assets that outlast them. Leverage is how you turn one day's work into a decade's reward. It's how you stop working for money and let money work for you. Chapter 40. The currency of attention. Today, attention is the most valuable currency in the world. People scroll through millions of messages a day, but remember only the few that resonate deeply. The rich understand this, and they master the art of influence. They don't sell products, they sell purpose. They don't chase followers, they build trust. The rich don't demand attention, they deserve it. When your message is clear, your mission magnetic, and your value undeniable, attention follows naturally. This is why reputation is one of the most powerful forms of wealth. It converts opportunities without effort. If your name opens doors when you're not in the room, that's wealth working for you. The poor fight for attention. The rich position themselves so attention finds them. It's not about shouting louder. It's about standing stronger in what you represent. Chapter 41. How the rich protect their energy. The truly rich don't just guard their money, they guard their energy because they know. Wealth is not just financial capital. It's emotional, mental, and physical capital. A tired mind spends recklessly. A focused mind invests wisely. That's why they engineer routines around clarity and calm. They wake up early not for productivity hype, but for mental dominance. They meditate, journal, move, and reflect. Because every morning they're not just preparing for the day, they're programming their minds for power. They avoid drama, negativity, and gossip like financial poison. Because energy is contagious, and one toxic conversation can cost more than any bad investment. They understand the formula: energy plus focus or execution. Without both, even the best idea dies in chaos. So, if you want to build wealth, protect the battery that fuels it. You. Chapter 42. The mindset of infinite returns. Once you master your relationship with money, something shifts. You realize that wealth is infinite because value is infinite. There will always be more money, but there will never be another you. You become the source. Your creativity, your perspective, your discipline, these are limitless. The richest people don't see money as the goal. They see it as feedback, proof that they're creating something valuable. That's why they keep winning, because their mindset is built on abundance, not scarcity. You don't need to take from others to grow. You need to serve others at a level that justifies abundance. When you do that consistently, when your contribution exceeds your consumption, money becomes a natural consequence of who you are. Chapter 52. Freedom, the final system. Now that you understand how to make money work for you, let's talk about the ultimate level. Freedom through systems. Freedom is not the absence of work. It's the absence of worry. It's waking up when you choose. It's spending time with who you love. It's building what matters without asking permission. Remember, financial freedom isn't about having everything. It's about owning your time. The rich design systems that pay them in peace, not pressure. They build cash-flowing assets. They create digital machines that multiply value 24/7. They invest in people, ideas, and technologies that keep their momentum alive. You don't need to be extraordinary to do this. You just need to be intentional. Because every person listening right now can start small. You can automate a bill, start an investment, create a digital product, learn a new skill, and that one small system can change your entire trajectory. Every empire begins with one automation, one investment, one disciplined decision. Chapter 53, The Cycle of Giving. The last secret of wealth is this. You don't truly own wealth until you learn to give it. Giving is not losing. It's circulation. When you give time, energy, or money, you prove to the universe that you have enough. And that mindset of abundance invites more into your life. The wealthiest people in the world are also the most generous, not because they're saints, but because they understand the physics of flow. Money that doesn't move dies. Energy that doesn't circulate stagnates. So give with strategy, with purpose, with heart, because generosity is the final system that keeps wealth alive. You don't need to wait until you're rich to start giving. Start with what you have, because giving doesn't start when you have enough. It's how you create enough. Final chapter. Your money, your mission. This is where it all connects. You've learned how to earn, manage, multiply, and protect. But the true question remains, why? What is your mission for money? Because if your purpose ends with your comfort, it will die with you. But if your purpose fuels creation, contribution, and impact, it will echo far beyond your lifetime. Money should never be your master. It should be your messenger. It should carry your vision into the world. It should speak for your values long after you're gone. It should remind others that success is not about accumulation, but amplification. Make your money an instrument of freedom, not just for you, but for those who follow. Because at the end of the day, that's the true legacy of the rich. Not what they own, but what they set in motion. If this audiobook resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. Which chapter hit hardest? Share your takeaway, your favorite line, or your next step in the comments. And remember, you don't need to chase money. You just need to become the kind of person money can't ignore. This was Make Money Work for You, the system of the rich. Now go, build your systems, protect your peace, and make your wealth work for generations. Thank you for watching. Wish you all the best.